Today, we're gonna talk tofu. It's one of the biggest elephants in the room when it comes to vegan diets and plant-based lifestyles. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about tofu. I've heard things like tofu causes cancer, that it's made from soybeans and the soy has hormones which give you cancer and make men grow breasts and really strange things like that. The truth about tofu is, number one, yeah, there are some plant-based estrogen-based, but it's phytoestrogen, it's plant-based, it's not mammalian-based, it's not from an animal, it's not like regular hormones. Also, if you're not familiar, soybeans, beans in general are a great source of plant-based protein. That's one of the biggest questions I get all the time. Well, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? Trust me, there's tons of protein in beans and vegetables, and actually, if you did not know this, calorie for calorie, beans have more protein than red meat. Now, if you think about it, where do animals get their protein? Cows, gorillas, things like that. They're vegan. They eat plants. That's where they get their protein. And then we eat them to get our protein. So cut off the middleman, get it directly. What I love about this recipe is I'm not a big dessert guy, but every once in a while you get a sweet tooth. This is a cool recipe to show you how to make some creamy fudgy brownies. This silken tofu, it's nice and creamy. It's gonna add a nice fudgy creamy texture and consistency to the brownies. And it's so simple, I'm gonna show you. You take some flour. Again, I like to use the whole grain flour. You can use whatever flour you want. Some sugar, got to get some sweetness in there. Baking powder, super important. We are going to bake these. A little sea salt. I like the pink Himalayan salt. We're going to whisk that together, just get those dry ingredients going. And then, you're not going to believe how easy this is. In a food processor, we're going to add some tofu, the silken tofu. There's a lot of different types of tofu. There's the extra firm, you can like grill and use for meat. And remember, tofu is a blank canvas. It's a blank slate. It will take on whatever flavor profile you want to give it. You can make it sweet, you can make it savory, whatever you want to do. Little tofu, some cocoa powder for chocolate, vanilla. This is one thing, don't skimp on the vanilla. I know that we can save a lot of money by buying some, cheaper ingredients. Buying good vanilla is super important, okay? Great vanilla, because you're not using a lot of it. This bottle of vanilla will last you a while. Some maple syrup for sweetener, a little olive oil. We're gonna blend that all up in a food processor. Then we're gonna incorporate these ingredients together. And then what I like to do for texture and for a little bit of savory crunch is I like to add in some walnuts. So I got some walnuts and basically chopped them up. You're gonna fold all that stuff together. You're gonna pour it into a baking pan, like grease baking pan. Bake it in the oven for about half hour, 350 degrees, and look at what you get. You get these delicious, rich, all plant-based, natural. Look at that. Plant-based vegan brownies, and it's so creamy and delicious. It's got a really nice chocolate fudgy texture and fudgy characteristic from the tofu, from the cocoa powder, and all the other stuff. Look how great that is. You can do whatever you want with this. I've got a great recipe for banana ice cream that's super great and easy. You can check that out, put that on top of here. You can make a hot fudge sundae with it. These are great. They travel really well if you need a dessert for your kids, for school, for classroom, for any occasion you want. So these are all natural vegan chocolate fudge brownies. And remember, for those of you that know, plant-based is the way to go.